Hi everybody, my name is Harry Shulman.
And I'm Alex Zhang, and we are the founders of Genda. I'm sure you all know we have a big counterfeiting problem in China. Clothing, accessory, alcohol, even medicine and food are all commonly counterfeited. Chinese government officials have estimated that the market is over $16 billion. In China, status and reputation are extremely important, and the expensive bottles of alcohol are commonly given away as gifts or served at dinner parties and business meetings. And in fact, this year, my cousin bought a very expensive Chinese liquor that called Maotai for Chinese New Year celebration. During our dinner party with my family and friends, he proudly opened it, and he only to find is a very disgusting liquid inside. And he was not smiling like this. He was very embarrassed. And we had to throw the bottle away. It was a counterfeit. This is unfortunately very common in China. And everyone knows this is a huge problem. However, it's very disgusting, it's very dangerous, and there are scams, and they are everywhere.
But of course, consumers aren't the only ones that are struggling with this issue. International and Chinese manufacturers of alcoholic beverages are losing billions in sales every year to counterfeiters and suffering incalculable damage to their brands' reputations. And while Western firms are used to tapping into comprehensive legal systems to shut these counterfeiters down, the option's just not there in China, which has been named one of the worst countries in the world for protecting intellectual property. So that's where Jenda comes in. We allow consumers to easily and instantly verify the authenticity of commonly counterfeited products with their smartphones in seconds. So as you can see from our mock-up here, Jenda tags are industrial, two-layer stickers that are permanently adhered to commonly counterfeited products by the manufacturer at the point of manufacturing. When a consumer buys a product like this, all they have to do is peel off the top layer of that tag, and they'll find the unique QR code hidden underneath. Then they can use the Jenda smartphone app to scan the code, and their smartphone will immediately tell them if the product is genuine or not. We made this process extremely quick so that consumers could even do this right in a retail store as they're buying the product. And if it comes up as a fake, they can turn to the person that just sold it to them and demand a refund right on the spot. So as you can see from Alex's iPhone and the mock-up on our screen, Jenda has correctly authenticated this product as authentic. However, if a different smartphone ever scans this tag, perhaps after it's been reapplied to a different product, or if the unique code is copied and reprinted onto a different tag, or even if the bottle is just refilled, as you can see here, our mock-up of Jenda has correctly shown the consumer that the product is in fact a counterfeit and that the tag was already scanned previously. What's really beneficial about this system is that in order to mass produce counterfeit Jenda tags, it just can't happen. You need to access the specific unique codes underneath there by physically ripping off that top layer, essentially destroying the genuine product. And even if you do that, you only get one unique tag for every one product you destroy, so it's really a zero-sum game. There are, of course, current solutions in the anti-counterfeiting market in China already. The two most common are holograms and serial numbers, but these solutions are themselves very commonly counterfeited on tons of fake bottles with incredible detail. They're essentially indistinguishable from the real things. There are, of course, more complex technologies like mass spectrometry, RFID chip integration, and these are really difficult to reproduce, and they do prevent some counterfeiting, but only when these products cross an international border and customs officials can use special equipment on them. There's nothing really in China currently that's both consumer-friendly and extremely difficult to reproduce. In some markets, though, like many in African countries, a firm called Sproxel has come up with a solution that essentially allows consumers to scratch off the top layer of their tags and text message a long string of numbers and letters to Sproxel to authenticate products. And they've really validated that consumers do want to authenticate products for themselves. And their solutions worked well in Africa. But in a country like China, where the counterfeiters have millions in revenue and are extremely powerful, a solution like this, you'd see immediately fake Sproxel stickers with just a different phone number written on them, and people's text messages would go to the counterfeiters and not to Sproxel, and it would kind of invalidate their entire system. With Jenda, because we use our own application, it's a closed and secure system, and this type of counterfeiting really can't happen.
because the Chinese alcoholic market is the perfect initial market for Jenda to enter because of its aggressive growth and significant size, also with the forecast value of over $600 billion in 2017. China is also the perfect country for Jenda, with 330 million smartphone users, which is more than any other countries in the world. Also, this number is expected to reach 500 million by end of this year. Finally, fake alcohol just doesn't hurt people's wallet. It's also very harmful to their health. Every year, thousands of people die by drinking counterfeiting alcohol, which are frequently made from the rubbing alcohol and antifreeze. Every part of the production of Jenda tags is designed to keep our products secure. We produce them in-house so we can directly monitor the manufacturing and the production lines. We ship them by using tamper-evident packaging and track every deliveries, so that if any tags are ever go missing, or like shipments are opened and potentially compromised, we can immediately deactivate the tags so they will show up as invalid if they are ever scanned. Also, we want to ensure that every authentication is accurate, and that Jenda is the application that the consumer can trust to find genuine products. That's why we are named Jenda, which means genuine in Chinese.
And this concept of being the smartphone application that consumers can trust when they're looking for genuine products is central to our marketing strategy. Our main plan for marketing Jenda is using co-branded advertisements with our clients in the alcoholic beverage industry, where a client demonstrates that by using the Jenda app, consumers can authenticate for themselves that their products are genuine, unlike competing beverages. And this allows for two really great things to happen. First of all, our clients can market themselves and their products as trustworthy, which is extremely advantageous in China. At the same time, it allows us to legitimize the Jenda brand by associating our name with the names of very well-known brands in China already. But we also want to let retailers leverage the value that Jenda adds. So we're going to send them window decals like Yelp and TripAdvisor do so that they can demonstrate to their consumers that they're dedicated to selling genuine products. And since there's so much embarrassment and frustration that comes along with purchasing counterfeit alcohol, we're really confident that Jenda will change consumers' minds when they're in the liquor stores, and they're really going to prefer to go with a product that has Jenda tag and to shop at retailers that sell Jenda tags. And we can actually collect data every time somebody scans a Jenda tag, so we can quantify this advantage and use it to demonstrate the value that we're adding to our clients and to potential clients. It's all about creating market pressure and a snowball effect so that once one firm implements Jenda into their product line, they all have to. Otherwise, they'll lose consumers who are just frustrated with never knowing if what they're buying is real. And consumers will really prefer to shop at retailers that sell these products and aren't maybe not so trustworthy. So there are some big names in China already in the anti-counterfeiting space. 3M, Authentics, and DuPont Authentication are three of the biggest ones. But these leaders and pretty much the entire industry is selling solutions that fall into those two categories we discussed earlier, either too easy to counterfeit or really not designed for consumers and only relevant when they are exported out of China.
So our target market is mid-level and premium Chinese and international producers of alcoholic beverages, and especially those in the wines and the spirits segments, since they are losing more sales and profits and suffering more damages to their brand's reputation than any other segments of the market. Our target customers are the firms that produce premium liquor. Maotai is a very extremely popular Chinese liquor that sells for $200 per bottle. And the company's annual sale is in the billions, because Chinese people love to give it as a gift, or especially during the holiday seasons. However, due to its popularity, it is 80 to 90% of all Maotai sold in China is counterfeit.
Yep. Maotai is kind of the classic case for a company struggling with counterfeiting issues. So our revenue stream, we want to make the entire thing free for consumers so that there's no reason for them not to use the system. So our revenue comes from the actual manufacturers of the bottles themselves who are implementing the product into their product lines. And our standard pricing model is 0.2% of MSRP per bottle. And this value-based pricing is really ideal in the industry where we're adding a lot more value to a firm that sells bottles of wine at thousands of dollars than to a company that sells $35 bottles of whiskey, for example. So we have two forecasts here. Our conservative numbers estimate that by 2017, we'll be able to capture 3.5% of the market, which translates to $68 million in profits in 2017. In our ideal forecast, though, we'd be able to partner with one of the major firms in the industry like Maotai or like an international company like Diageo and really be able to capture up to 10% of the market. The alcoholic beverage industry is highly fragmented, so partnering with one of these firms would mean about 5 to 10% of the market, giving us $200 million in profits in that year. We've calculated that the cost of customer acquisition will be between $10,000 and $20,000. A lot of that's due to transportation costs, traveling even through China, not even just to China if we have a team there. But the annual revenue we'll earn per average customer will be about $50,000, so the cost does pay for itself.
In order to reach these goals, we estimated we'll need $435,000 in order to keep us going until our cash flow positive in quarter four 2014. With $35,000 from this computation, we are being able to finish our development of Jenda system and also including implementing some of the most advanced digital security features available. Also, we are able to create the prototype and begin demonstrating at the trade shows and the industry events.
So Alex and I are both undergrads here at GWSB with really strong passions for finding unique solutions to major problems. Alex started his first business when he was in high school, selling apparel, accessories, and other consumer goods to clients in China. And he's grown up in a family that owns and manages a number of manufacturing facilities in mainland China. I've also started a number of businesses myself, mainly in e-commerce, and I've worked for a number of firms that sell consumer goods. Our advisor, Richard Leventhal, is a true veteran of the alcoholic beverage industry. He's the CEO of Fedway Associates, one of the largest alcoholic beverage distribution companies on the East Coast of the United States. And he serves as CEO. He's been with the company for 35 years and has served as CEO since 2006. He's been an invaluable resource, and some of the insights we've gained from him have allowed us to actually tweak the Jenda system so that going forward, we'll be able to address some of the issues that plague these major global manufacturers of alcoholic beverages in counterfeiting and beyond. Alex and I are extremely excited about the prospects of our company, and we're confident that we'll be able to help revolutionize this industry and others with your investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who wants to ask the first question?
So tell us about the logistical flow of this product. So
Sure.
is it, you create the QR code, it's applied where?
So we manufacture the tags from start to finish and then ship them in bulk to the manufacturer for them to apply themselves at the end of their production runs. So yeah, we make everything. All they really have to do is use pretty standard equipment for the industry that peels off the tag and applies it to their products.
So it's at the point of manufacture. So you go to the store, you do the scan, it's a bogus bottle. Is it executed at the store and then the merchant has to take it back in inventory? How does that work?
So if it's a bogus bottle, where it really would be a counterfeit. So the way our system works is you do it directly after you purchase it. If you have any system that lets you to scan it before you purchase it, it's very easy to counterfeit. So a consumer would scan it right after the purchase and literally turn to the person they just bought it from and say, this is clearly a counterfeit. And you demand a refund right there. We think really it's just going to incentivize these retailers not to sell these counterfeits, or at least not to try to fake Jenda tags, because they know their consumers are going to immediately be able to detect that they're fakes.
But how does that work? Let's say the merchant says, this is fine, I got good stuff, but they bought it for 10 cents on the product dollar, and then they start arguing at the point of sale. How would that all work out?
We think that just that type of situation is exactly why the merchants won't want to sell these counterfeit bottles with fake Jenda tags, because that exact situation, that customer is never coming back. And it's just not a long-term business strategy anymore to be able to sell counterfeits like it is now, because you would just run into that problem over and over and over again, and all your customers would leave. Your reputation would be destroyed.
How would you monitor your delivery? You say you're producing all of these QR codes. How would you monitor the delivery to the manufacturers and knowing that they are legit?
Yeah, so
We are using the tamper-evident packaging, and so every delivery we go out, we have the contract with the shipping company, so they will let us know where they are and where the location is, which steps they are at, and also we have the contract with the producers,
the manufacturers.
So we'll make sure every step is in the right order.
And essentially, if they receive a package, all of the packaging we use is designed so that if the boxes are even opened, it's very evident.
Noticed.
Yeah, so if we basically contact them every time they get a delivery, and if they say even slightly they think it's been tampered with, we can send out a new case and invalidate all of those. So even if those all went out to the market, because they're digitally expired, as soon as you scan it, even if it's real, it's gonna, even if the tag itself was genuine, it'll say it was invalid.
Having worked in spirits in Hong Kong, I can appreciate the idea. It's very valuable. I had also questions about the point of sale. How does that work? My biggest question is around your B2B sales capability, the experience that your team has or lacks, and I know Richard would be a great help, is to land these really, really big, convince these very big brands to change the way they manufacture and validate their products is a big deal.
Sure.
What is your experience in doing that? Or your strategy to do that?
So for the big brands, I have already contacted one of the big Chinese premium liquor brand in China. Is called Fen Liquor, and it's my parents has lots of connections in China. Also do our GW friends, and I have contacted one of the producers in Guangzhou, and one is in Shanghai, and we have talked about the idea. They said, yeah, this is a huge problem, counterfeiting problem, and we want to meet face to face to discuss more in detail. If it really can work, we want to implement it.
We also, a lot of where the initial money goes into is hiring someone who is a veteran of this industry. We recognize that for a lot of these sales, we're not the perfect ones to do it, and so hiring somebody who really has extensive knowledge and experience in this kind of thing, we think is really the right way to go.
Oh yeah, sorry. Have you looked at what folks like what Pharma Secure has done with anti-counterfeiting stuff for drugs in developing countries? They've been, from what I hear, quite successful. So, I mean, this is interesting. But you're attacking alcohol, another kind of premium, very brand kind of authentication relevant kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like if it was sugar, then whatever, low value. But this is high value stuff. So it makes sense what you guys are doing. But have you just compared notes with other industries where anti-counterfeiting really has made a huge difference, especially when it's digital?
Yeah. So we've noticed as we mentioned, Sproxel, one of the biggest names in the game. They actually just won Fast Company, I believe, 7th most innovative company. Because you're right, pharmaceuticals is another industry that is plagued with horrible counterfeiting, and yeah, we found their way of doing it with that authentication that the consumers do for themselves is hands down the best way to do it, and it's really accepted from the consumers. They appreciate it and they use it. It's not just something that they're like. It's not.
And also I want to add something. Like we are deciding to enter the alcoholic beverage market is because the younger people are more using smartphones in China, and the pharmaceuticals are more like older age people. That's why we choose that instead of pharmaceuticals.
Great. We've got to cut it off. Thank you very much. Great job, Harry. Good.